Over this quarantine, I have rewatched all of Avatar The Last Airbender, and I have good news. It is still the greatest show ever. Avatar is your pretty standard fantasy story. A journey, magic powers, a chosen one, and an all-powerful villain hell-bent on destroying the world. That is pretty broad, but you get the point. Now that you kind of understand the premise of the show, I wanted to talk about my favorite episode, The Tales of Ba Sing Se. This is an episode told in a series of short vignettes. Some are comedic and others are really emotional. Everything that makes the show great is here, and I'm going to rank each tale. So let's get started. I'm short on time, so I'll keep these first tales simple and save the best for last. I don't think anyone will disagree with me on my ranking here. The Tale of Aint is cute, playful filler fluff that I'm not really that passionate about. It is the only segment that makes me twiddle my thumbs waiting to get back to the great stuff. It feels really offsetting to see such a jovial and playful portion of the episode dedicated to Aang, who has been going through a lot these past few episodes with the loss of Appa. Flashback really quick to the last episode where the antagonist Lon Fane threatened Aang with Appa. Aang still could have done the zoo mischief, however I would have preferred if it tied into the main story arc some way. It is a weird little break from Aang's otherwise laser-focused journey. All in all, this segment could have more potential, but hey, it's touching. The Tale of Momo is next on my ranking. Up until this episode, we had never seen Momo on screen for his own little skit. I couldn't really care much for Momo, but this tale surprised me by being perfectly ample nonetheless. The tale is about a character coping with the loss of Appa, something which Aang's tale didn't bother doing for some bizarre reason. This tale is greatly saved by its relevance to the main story. It was fun watching the Panthers chase Momo through town, and it was really wholesome watching Momo save the Panthers and then leading him to Appa's paw print. It was the perfect way to end the episode. The Tale of Saka. Let me level with you all. This crap is fire. Haiku rap battle against a haiku lord? I mean, yeah, it's filler, but it's the best type. This is the only segment in the show that had me dying laughing. It was so entertaining to watch Sokka go head-to-head with the mistress while all the girls are cheering him on. This tale was really engaging and had me on the edge of my seat counting the syllables of the rap battle to make sure they were correct. Anyone not paying attention in the show would quickly be tuned in for Sokka's tale. He even goes on to win the rap battle and put her in her place. But a tragedy occurs. Sokka just couldn't stop. He proceeded to get one last jab at her and say haikus aren't very hard. Then everyone on screen slowly counts the syllables and Sokka gets demolished. Maybe next time, bud. The Tale of Toff and Katara. This tale is the perfect start to the episode. The gang is getting ready for their day in the city and everyone is trying to figure out how they will spend their day. Katara proposes the idea of a spa day, an activity I never saw these girls bonding over. It was really wholesome to see Katara and Toff bond as they generally butt heads and argue. It is especially wholesome when they dispose of some punks that say Toff's makeup looks like a poodle. After an epic scene, Katara tells Toff how much she admires her despite them always arguing. Now Toff is blind, so she has never seen herself. Katara telling her she thinks she's pretty is a touching moment, but it is especially touching because one of the abilities of earthbenders is they can tell when people are lying. Toff smiles and the tale ends. This tale was so close to getting the number one spot. The tale is all about Zuko going on a date. If Zuko learns one thing from this tale, it is the realization of how cut off he is from the real world. Most people would consider Zuko, who is going on a date at age 17, to be completely normal, but his life is the opposite of that. Zuko, the crown prince of the Fire Nation, a firebending prodigy, and a teenager who has sat on Fire Nation war councils, is afraid to go on a simple date? In fact, it is his uncle who has to tell Zuko that Jin keeps coming into their tea shop, probably because she likes him, and not because she's Fire Nation espionage. As for Zuko's date, well, it goes as well as you would expect. It starts off really awkward in Zuko being completely closed off with his guard up, but soon turns into a romantic stroll through the town at night. Jin is super excited to show Zuko the lights, but they aren't lit. Then Zuko, one of the main antagonists, a character who has never done anything nice for anyone except for his uncle, tells Jin to close her eyes as he risks it all just to put a smile on her face. She tries to kiss him, which he avoids, but then she tries again and he kisses her back before he scurries back home. Zuko goes to his room and his uncle asks how the date was, and Zuko just says, "It was nice," and the tale ends. This tale gets its ranking because we have never explored Zuko's character arc this much in the show, and this is the first time I remember seeing him genuinely happy. The number 1 ranking goes to the Tale of Iro. This tale is truly a masterpiece. The tale is about Iro going through his day helping out as many strangers as he can. As the day continues, he arrives outside the city at a tree and sets up a small memorial for his son and sings him a song. As he's setting the memorial up, it becomes much more understandable what those previous conversations meant. Iro stopped to help any stranger needing assistance as a testament to the great and caring character he is. From the boy he sings to the group of kids he offers advice to, and the guy trying to mug him whose life he changes, all of these things were advice he should have given to his son, but he was never able to. He has to live with the fact that he wasn't able to save his son's life. As he sets up the memorial in the city where his son perished, Iro sings a song dedicated to his son for an emotionally devastating scene, and it doesn't disappoint. If you don't cry from Iro's tearful tribute to his son, then you will cry from the tearful tribute to Iro's voice actor. These are my rankings of the tales of Ba Sing Se. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but this is the only correct one. No one will disagree with me there. This episode encompasses everything I love about this amazing show. Not to mention that this was a filler episode, yet it was still perfectly adequate in every way. To anyone who hasn't seen the show, I highly recommend it. While it may be for kids, I find adults can appreciate it more. This has been the ranking of the tales of Ba Sing Se.